It's 1991. Birds and people are living together in seemingly perfect harmony. Until one day, a young man catches fire. This is Phoenix.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Game Week 4 deadline stream. The international break is officially over and Premier League football is almost back. At least it will be in, what is it now, 3.5 hours when we get to watch Bruno Fernandes' absolute masterclass, or probably more likely another blank and then a massive price drop. He's definitely dropping to 8.3 million very soon, although it hasn't happened just yet. I'm doing good. I'm probably rolling. My only real decision this week is whether to play Porro instead of Robinson. I'm pretty sure I'm just going to play Konza. There's a decent enough chance of a clean sheet there. I'm not that worried about Haaland. I'm like 99.999% sure he'll start. There is a temptation to hit Salah in, but I can't do it. Am I doing well in Statman's Breakaway League? I'm not sure, actually. I don't know. I don't really check mini leagues all that often early on in the season. There's so much more of the season to play. It doesn't really matter where you are right now in terms of overall rank and stuff like that. Although I would say that, right, because I'm doing terribly. Let me just check here. Right. Would you recommend Xerxes for a short-term pick? Probably not, to be honest with you. I mean, I think he probably will continue to start while Højlund is out. I'm not sure if Højlund's out that much longer. Like, Southampton's fine, but probably not, to be honest with you. Garnacho, I would say, won't start. He liked a Ronaldo post having a pop at Ten Hag, who will find any excuse not to bench Rashford. Did he actually do that again? Oh, I don't know if he did it before, so I'll take that back. That ain't great. Can you do a spin on your swivelly chair on stream? No, there's not really enough room to do it, to be honest. Like, if I swivel this way, my legs will smack the desk. And if I move out of the desk, my chair will hit the wall. I'm in quite a little confined space here. Do the price change numbers include wildcard? So, price changes will try to take into account wildcards, but it's pretty difficult. I think predicting price changes in general is hard to be 100% accurate. It's extremely hard on big wildcard weeks. And also, international break, you just don't get many price changes. I suspect there's a bit of manual intervention, but I don't know that for sure. Do I like roller skating? I guess no, because I haven't done it in about 30 years. Rollerblading I used to do. I always wanted the, were they called Bowers? Was that the brand or was that the type of wheels? People had like Bauer rollerblades. I just had one, like big plastic ones with plastic wheels. Couldn't go very fast on them. Some people had like the rubber wheels, I guess. Is Watkins worth adding to a wild card? I'm not convinced I would have Watkins if I was wildcarding this week. I'm not saying he's a bad option, but I don't think I would have him. Did I get Linkin Park tickets? Nope, didn't even try for them, to be honest. Don't mind Linkin Park, but as I said with Oasis, I'm just not that bothered about going to gigs. I know it's very boring of me. No, we're not going to start the boring conversation again, though, don't worry. Vardio and Edison or Trent and Henderson, I think. If you can keep Trent on wildcard, that seems pretty good. I mean, I'm a little bit worried about Liverpool. I've got one this week. I'm only going to have 2 next week. And I think there's a chance that I will wildcard in game week 6 with double Liverpool defence. It kind of makes me think, why do I not just have them now and wildcard now? I don't know. Wildcard is quite tempting, but I think if I was absolutely sure that in game week 6 I was going to still own Haaland and Salah, I would just wildcard now. But I'm not convinced I'm going to do that, and so I'm going to leave it open. And I know when Salah gets a hat-trick, all the comments are coming in. I get it. I'm an idiot. Why have I still got Bruno Fernandes? Happens every single week. But I think it's okay to roll for me this week. Hope you're well. Rate this 11. I'm sure it's great. Henderson, yeah. You got Trent. I mean, it's quite... Vardio's great. Bruno's amazing. Looks all right to me. I mean, Gibbs White's maybe not the greatest pick this week. You can maybe change him, but I think rolling the transfer is probably fine. You don't even have to... Oh, yeah, you do have to play him. I think rolling the transfer is probably okay for you. Unless you got 2 free transfers, then maybe you could get Salah. Although I'm not sure how you would do that without selling Haaland, because you haven't got like a Saka or Palmer or anyone. Justin, thank you very much. I got Salah and Haaland. Nice. With the news of Haaland's family issue in mind, should I captain Salah instead? I mean, that's a good question. If you want to play it ultra safe, you could go Salah, but I'm pretty sure that Haaland's going to start. Wildcard in the international break or for game week 6. Well, I mean, it's a bit late now. If you get the international break's gone, unless you mean the next one. But it really just depends on your team, doesn't it? I'm just going to go game week 6. I'm not really worried about... Like, the idea that you should wildcard an international break is like such an old school thing. Like, people used to do it because... Well, one, you get 2 weeks to think about it, although sometimes that's not a good thing. And 2, you used to get like a lot of price changes. It just doesn't happen anymore. Like, and that's been the case for years now. Raya, Allison, Porro to... Raya... over Allison, Porro, Van Dijk, or Robinson. Okay, Raya to Allison, that is. Porro to Van Dijk, or Robinson's Canate, or roll. Probably just roll. I mean, getting Van Dijk in is not necessarily bad. I probably wouldn't switch Raya, but a lot of it would depend on when you're wildcarding, right? Selling Arsenal players, if you're going to wildcard in 6, ain't so bad, but if you're not, you might want to keep hold of them. 3 free transfers, Fast, Nkunku, Haaland to Robertson, Salah, João Pedro. I mean, yes, sure. It feels a bit weird to sell Haaland, but I think the combination on the right is definitely better. Konstantinos, thank you. I just saw something about Kwanzaa, but I've lost it already, so I just have to apologise. Something about a Kwanzaa drop and you escaped it or something. Oh, I've just escaped the Kwanzaa drop and changed into Robertson. Nice. Starting Burmo or Strand Larson. Wolves have got... Wolves have got someone away? Can't remember. Someone at home. Oh, home's in Newcastle, of course. I mean, Burma's on penalties, right? So I'd be tempted to play. I think I'd play Strand Larson. I mean, if you're going to bench in Burma, this is the week to do it, and then you just play him every single week after this. I don't think Haaland gets subbed on if he doesn't play. Yeah, he's going to be in the 11 or he's going to be out of the squad, you would imagine. I don't, like, again, these things, it feels weird to speculate on this for FPL, but and everyone deals with grieving differently, but I can't imagine it would be great for you to go and sit on a bench. Like, if you're going to be involved, you want to play, right? So I think I don't think there's any point in continually discussing Haaland, to be honest. I think he's going to start. I've got that in the team news thing. Should I go for Jota or Diaz? I'd probably buy Diaz at this point. Although I'm not really sure why. Because if Jota keeps playing number 9, I think he's great. I just think Diaz is more likely long term to keep his place. Even though I don't really see Darwin coming in anytime soon. given how well things are going at the moment. Start Garnacho or Gibbs White. Yeah, I don't know if Garnacho is definitely going to start. I feel like he should. Can we see your Champions League fantasy squad? Not right now. It's the same as what it was in the video yesterday, so you can go and check that if you want. I need to play around with it over the weekend. I'm looking for tips. Havertz to Nketiah for better goal odds. I mean, again, you might want Havertz in game week 6. So what's the wildcard plan? What's the plan to get him back in? I don't think there's a need to sell Havertz before Spurs away. But if you want to get Nketiah and take a punch, sure. Bennett, 10 months, thank you. Where are we at on Palmer? He was my captain, but just seeing the flag. There was, as far as I know, there was no questions or answers from Maresca in the press conference yesterday about Palmer. But as far as we know, he's probably fine. The decision whether to captain him, I guess, depends on who else you've got. If you've got no Haaland, no Salah, then maybe it's fine. If you've got one of those, so I would just captain them instead. I have 3 transfers in wildcard. Planning to do Bruno, Garnacho, Jota for Salah, Rodgers, Adama. 94% team rating. Or Bruno, Isak, Garnacho for Salah, Rodgers, Welbeck. I mean, I would prefer Salah, Rodgers, Welbeck, I think, to be honest with you. Like, Jota's great for the next couple. But, yeah. Yeah, Jota's good for the next couple, and then you get Welbeck instead of Adama Traore. I mean, I'd also be tempted to wildcard with a position of strength with 3 free transfers, but I also wouldn't recommend wildcarding now if you haven't thought about it over the international break. Vardy and Menez to Duncan Jackson for free. I probably wouldn't do that. I wouldn't spend 2 free transfers on that, I don't think. I think Vardy and Menez are both fine this week. Like, Dunk's great. Jackson's pretty good too. I don't think it's worth it for free. I would just roll again. Play Madueke or Rodgers. I think if you've got Madueke, you've probably got to play him. Like, Rodgers is good, but I'm not sure he's better than Madueke. I've got Madueke in my sleeper draft this week, actually. I picked him up. So I'm hoping he does well. Although, I don't want him to do too well, because I don't want to be massively punished in FPL, but I do want to beat FPL family. Saka and Gabriel for Salah and Dunk for a -4 hit. Saka and Gabriel for Salah and... No, I probably wouldn't do that, but it's one of those where I don't hate it. If you want to go for it, go for it. But I'm not taking a hit to get Salah in. Brereton Diaz, decent shout for the next couple of games. So Southampton have got... This week it's Man United at home, great fixture. And then Ipswich at home. Yeah, he's probably not a bad shout, to be honest. But I wouldn't like... He's probably fine if you're, I don't know, wildcarding. You really want to go for him. But he's probably not worth a transfer in. Haaland versus Salah captain. Haaland has 1 in 4 against Brentford. Yeah, I got no idea what Salah's form is against Forest or anything like that. I would probably captain Haaland, but again, if you want to play ultra safe, go Salah. Bench Gabriel, Robinson, or Smith Rowe. Gabriel versus Robinson is... I don't know if I could play someone Spurs away rather than West Ham at home, so I'd probably bench Gabriel. I have 3 free transfers. Should I transfer Isak Saka out for Salah Menez or wait till 6? Who's better, Menez or Visser, knowing I already have Pedro? Well, this is good from game week 6 onwards. Again, it depends when you're wildcarding. I would sell Saka to Salah for free if I could do it. Instead of Menez, you could go Welbeck. Depends when you're wildcarding, though, because after game week 5, Brighton's fixtures get a bit trickier. Start 2 out of Chris Wood, Rodgers and Smith Rowe. Probably the 2 not playing Liverpool, I think. Do I have anything in the bank to do Roberts? Yeah, I've got money in the bank. I could do Pedro Porro to Robertson. The thing is, Pedro Porro is pretty good next week, so I don't really want to do that. And also, it just blocks me from getting Salah for free next week, which is the current plan. Are we getting early Man United team news? Possibly. But who knows? As a champion for Bradley, I predict that Bradley will play this weekend to give Trent a rest. Would I take your advice? No. I mean, you could be right, but I'll just get Porro off the bench, I guess. If you had to do... I wouldn't be surprised if Conor Bradley plays at some point. I really wouldn't. Do I know if Areola will start? I didn't actually see any West Ham team news. That's a good question. Kind of forgot about Areola. Okay, he apparently Lopetegui said he's okay. He's recovered well. So I'm guessing if he's fine, he's going to play. He's a goalkeeper that seems to pick up more injuries than everyone else. I feel like you could wait another week for Salah on the wire. What would be the point in waiting, though? Like, then you're buying him for 2 away games before tough fixtures. Also, I'm going to wildcard without Salah, probably. Haaland's head might not be quite right. Yeah, but these are all things we just don't know. So if you're worried, just captain Salah. Like, I really think it's... I know captaincy is like a big thing in FPL, but I feel like this one is not that big of a deal. They are both great options. If you've got any concerns about Haaland and you've got Salah, just captain Salah. If you've got Haaland and no Salah, just captain Haaland. Like, I really don't think... Like, if that's your only decision in FPL, I would just choose one of those and then log off, essentially. I don't think it's that big of a deal this week. I think it's overthinking for the sake of it, to be honest with you. Draft question. Who is a better solution? Vardy, João Pedro, Vista, or Nketiah long term? I would go João Pedro. Long term. And short term, to be honest. Is Konate a good, cheaper way into the Liverpool defence? Yes. Well, he's a cheaper way into the Liverpool defence, but I'm not sure. I think Kwanzaa will have to start soon. Either in the Premier League or in Europe. Where that happens, I don't know. But I think he'll have to. I just don't think Konate can play all those games. I think there'll have to be some kind of rotation, and so that's why I wouldn't buy Konate. And he's not that attacking either. Yeah, we might get Haaland news later. We might not. I mean, if we find out he's out, that's gonna. I don't think I've thought about wildcard enough without him to just wildcard. So I'd probably just take a hit if he's out, which would be Haaland to any forward. Watkins, maybe Solanke. And then Smith Rowe to Salah. And then who do I bench? I don't even know. I don't even know. Maybe I'll get Solanke and bench him. Why is Haaland flagged? Just because of what Pep said yesterday. That Pep said he'll have to see if he's mentally and physically ready to play. Ferguson is not flagged on the FPL site anymore. Welbeck minutes reduction. The thing with Ferguson, I think, has played for Ireland over the international break. Did he come on? I feel like he came on against England, but I could be wrong about that. I did watch that whole game, so I should know, but I had a few beers, so I can't remember. Ferguson's back, but I wouldn't expect... Yeah, so Welbeck's minutes long-term will probably go down. I've said that since game week 1, really. But I'm not sure it's going to be a massive drop straight away because Ferguson can never stay fit. And so I think they'll probably manage him a little bit. Okay, he did come on in both games. I thought he came on against England. I didn't watch the second game that Ireland had. Will I post a video about Champions League fantasy? No plans to post a separate video at the moment. Would you start Colwill or Robinson? Chelsea away to Bournemouth, right? I'd probably start Robinson. Powell or Konza on wildcard. I think Konza will be fine this week, but if you want to play it, again, ultra safe, then it's probably Pau Torres. It is worth saying that I think Mings is going to be back in the squad. Now, Mings has been out for a while. I do not expect him to start anytime soon. I guess at some point he could play left centre-back ahead of Torres. It feels unlikely anytime soon, so you probably shouldn't factor that into your decision, but maybe like a 0.5% thing to worry about. Yeah, if you want to go Pau Torres, just in case Konza doesn't play, fair enough. Ferguson did come on in that game. Really enjoyed the Planet FPL analysis of the 2 England matches in Carsley. Yeah, James is always good. James and I think Clayton did that one. I think I listened to that, yeah. Carsley's definitely going to get the job. I think that's an absolute definite. I think it's already decided. They just want to make sure he gets some wins in the next couple of games. Start Chris Wood or Harwood Bellis? I would definitely start Chris Wood. YouTuber. What transfers are you thinking about making? That's usually handier to know. I'm not going to look for a whole team and decide your transfer strategy. It's pointless without knowing what your future plans and stuff are. So I guess what is your thinking? Which of those players do you think maybe need to go? I would say not many of them. I would say none of them, to be honest with you. Draft question, is Barnes or Bailey better long term? Probably Bailey. And also, Bailey hasn't been ruled out this weekend. Now, I suspect he won't play, because I think it was a hamstring issue. But probably Bailey. I already answered that question about the draft forwards. Porro to Robertson, Muniz to João Pedro. Porro to Robertson is fine, although Pedro Porro is pretty good next week himself. Muniz to João Pedro again is fine. João Pedro is better for the next two. We need to stop sleeping on Gordon. I mean, Gordon's fine, but I wouldn't buy him right now. When am I wildcard? I'm probably game week 6. If you can't hear, I would unmute the stream. Only thinking about Eze to Kudus. No chat. Like, Eze's got Leicester at home. I mean, look, as always, right, things can happen. Could Kudus outscore Eze? Absolutely, he could. It's Leicester at home. There's zero reason to move Eze. No one should be making that move, in my opinion. Why have you benched Smith Rowe instead of Rodgers? I don't know, really. Everton at home, maybe slightly better than West Ham at home. I don't know. Rodgers keeps playing like 90 as a number 10 for Aston Villa. Surely the returns are coming. Fantasy Football Hub on the My Team Tour have got Rodgers more points than Smith Rowe, but they've also got Robinson more points than Porro, and I'm quite tempted just to play Porro. So I just use it for confirmation bias. What do you think if I change Haaland with Watkins? I think that's kind of pointless if you think Haaland's going to start. Saka and Gordon to Salah and Adama or Roll on wildcard 6. I mean, Salah and Minter, if that's for free, I'd be quite tempted to do that. I'm not sure I'm that interested in getting Adama Traore, to be honest. I know he's playing all right, but still. Start Saliba or Porro? Porro for me. Rodgers over Smith Rowe due to Everton. Plus 90 minutes is a number 10 for Villa. I mean, look, it's worth saying that we wait. The first 3 game weeks was nice to get info early on in the season. It was nice to wait for the transfer window to shut. We're also going to get a bit of information over the next couple of game weeks before wildcard 6 as well, and that is how rotation is going to affect certain players. Like, do I expect Rodgers to keep playing 90 minutes every Premier League game and every Champions League game? Not really. But right now, I do think he starts again and probably gets good minutes. So I'm happy enough to play him. I think it's quite close between him and Smith Rowe. It's almost like coin flip territory. Would you do Isak to João Pedro on a free or roll? I'd probably just roll. I think João Pedro is arguably better this week, but there's not much in it. I'm on a wildcard. Would you have Mitoma or Mbeumo? I think that kind of question really depends on how many free transfers you've got and how many you're already pre-planning. But Mitoma is definitely better for the next 2. But long term, you definitely want Mbeumo instead. So if you've got limited amount of transfers to use, I would just start with Mbeumo. Shall I keep Watkins or get Isak or something like that? I'd probably just keep Watkins. No, he should start. I expect him to start. I think he'll be fine. Play Muniz and roll or get Eze for Bailey. Ooh, do you know what? I'd be very tempted to get Eze. I think playing Muniz and rolling is fine, but Eze's Leicester at home is really good. Bailey, I don't think is going to be great going forward. I wouldn't be buying Bailey right now. I'd be tempted to make that move. On wildcard, would you consider buying Robertson instead of Trent and banking the money for a future transfer? Yes, I think Robertson's good. I already spoke about Konate earlier. I just wouldn't go, though. I don't expect him to keep starting every game for Liverpool when Europe starts. Palmer not playing European football till spring is such a massive boost for his Premier League minutes. Yeah, I mean, you can frame it both ways, right? There is part of me that thinks, okay, so he can't manage the load of playing in Europe, and he hasn't played for England as well. Is there a slight underlying concern there that they're worried about him, which could affect him? But I think generally I would frame it as he's only playing Premier League, and that is great. So I agree in general. But I do wonder if there's something they're worried about that they're not telling us about. Nketiah or Rodgers on wildcard. Well, they play in different positions, right? I mean, I'd probably go Rodgers. But the Nketiah could be great because he's probably going to start against Leicester at home based on what Glasner said. And if he stays in that side for 5.9 million, it could be an absolute bargain. It's just really difficult to know that right now. So Nketiah this week is definitely more exciting than Rodgers. But given what we've seen so far, Rodgers' minutes look pretty good. And obviously he's a bit cheaper as well. But they do play in different positions. So I guess what's the combination difference? Have a bet on Vardy getting 10 goals this season. Do you see yourself owning him at some point as a punt for nostalgia? Well, I wouldn't buy him just for nostalgia. I'd buy him if he looks like a good option. Potentially I could see myself buying him at some point. Not anytime soon, but you never know. What TV shows am I currently watching? Not a lot, really, to be honest with you. Like, literally nothing. not like I do watch TV, but it's usually some crap that I flick through. I'm not watching anything in particular. Rashford for Eze, free transfer or hold Rashford. Oh, that's... I mean, I don't see Rashford getting dropped. I don't see a world in where Ten Hag plays Ahmad and Garnacho from the start. And it's Southampton. But I'll say this. I think Eze is a much better longer-term option. And if you're going to do that soon anyway, I would be tempted just to get Eze for Leicester at home. It does feel weird to sell Rashford before Southampton, though. If Haaland scores today, he will surely do a shirt celebration and get yellow carded. Yeah, probably. How stupid from 1 to 10 would it be to captain Palmer instead of Haaland today? It's not stupid. I wouldn't do it personally, but it's your team. You do whatever you like. I wildcarded Haaland out last week and regret it. Should I get him back in by sacrificing Watkins and Palmer for 4.5? Or I think you got to hold. Honestly, and I wouldn't even worry about it that much. Look, I know that's easy to say, right? Because not having Haaland it can be painful. But if you've wildcarded without Haaland, you've got Salah. So you captain Salah this week, that's fine. Salah's a better captain next week because Haaland's playing Arsenal. In game week 6, it's Newcastle away. Again, you could captain Haaland that week, but Salah's also fine. So I'd worry about getting Haaland back maybe in game week 7 when they play Fulham. Lord of the Rings and Chaos are pretty good. The Grand Tour last ever episode. Yeah, not really into that, to be honest. I know, everyone loves it. You don't need to tell me. It's great. Not for me. The Haaland 16-point hat-trick is going to suck for owners with a yellow card. Don't want to get rid of Chris Wood, but I feel like I need to bring in Welbeck, João Pedro, Rodgers in for 2 weeks. Have 3 free transfers, benching Porro. Thoughts? I think Chris Wood to João Pedro with 3 free transfers is a perfectly good use of a free transfer, to be honest. 5k views. I don't even get that on my videos, let alone live stream. You just got to keep it up. You just got to keep on grinding. I think one thing to remember is... Like, I've been doing this for like 8 years. My first stream did not get 5,000 viewers live, I'll tell you that. Smith Rowe, Rodgers, Vardy, which 2 would you start? Who's Vardy? Where does Vardy come from? Everton at home. I think I'd have to start Vardy if I had him, right? Because he'll be on penalties. I don't think anyone else is going to come in and take him. So I think, if I've got Vardy, I'm starting him. So I'd probably start Rodgers because that's who I'm going for. What do you think of an Eze captain? I mean, he's okay, but again, if you've got Salah and Haaland, that seems like a pretty easy decision. Yeah, I mean, my vice captain's on Eze. I've not really thought about that because I just assume that Haaland's going to start. I put it on Eze right when the deadline ticked over for game week 3. Don't you agree that Haaland has used up his quota of hat-tricks this season? It's time to sell. No. Come on, now you're just talking rubbish. Come on. Doesn't he get like a hat-trick every 8.5 games? So he's got at least another 2, right? Ish. 2 free transfers. Smith Rowe to Eze and Meniz to Welbeck or João Pedro or Roll. Smith Rowe to Eze looks great. Meniz to João Pedro is fine too. Wildcard rating, please. Fabianski, Robertson, Dunk, Pau Torres, Salah, Palmer, Eze, Minter, Rodgers, Haaland, Pedro, Flecken, Mikolenko, Greaves, Visser. Seems pretty good to me. Although, I would have a plan on how you're going to get in Burma. I really think in Burma is just so good for Game Week 6. But obviously, you've got Visser there, I know. Like, if you can do like Minter to Mbermo in 6 somehow, that would be pretty good. I wonder, like, my wildcard draft had a similar defense to that. I'm wondering actually if I would just take Palmer out. Like, another option you could do is just not have Palmer on what. This is not you particular, but everyone. Instead of having like Saka or Palmer, you could go a bit cheaper in midfield and then sell Salah for Saka in 6 maybe. Everyone is overlooking Jota. He had amazing preseason. It's only a matter of time before he starts banging them in. Yeah, probably. But I think a lot of people already have him at this point if they want him. I remember when Andy was saying we are close to 100 viewers live. Those are the days. Those are the days. Start Mikalenko or Lewis. Well, Lewis Hall's probably not going to start, right? I mean, Eddie Howe was kind of bigging him up a bit, but he's just got no guarantee of starting. So I'd probably just start Mikalenko. Am I sure that Haaland's? I'm sure enough of Haaland starting that I'm just going to captain him and not bring Salah in for a hit. Would you rate starting Dunk over Robinson? I mean, there's no. I would definitely start Dunk over Robinson. I wouldn't even really give that too much thought. I think. Start Leif Davis or Max Kilman. West Ham. I can't. I'll Fulham away. I can never remember what fixtures players have got. And Ipswich away to Brighton, of course. I think. Do you know what? I don't think either get a clean sheet, so I'd probably just play the one that's more attacking and go Leif Davis. I mean, I guess West Ham have got a slightly better chance of a clean sheet, but I'd probably just play Leif Davis if I had him. Playing Burma versus City or trade then get him back. I would just play him. You're going to want him soon. Thoughts on Palmer in for Saka? I mean, it's fine. It's fine, but you'll want Saka in 6 over Palmer, I would say. If you're wildcarding this week, what would it look like? I did a video on that if you want to check it out. Should I take a hit and take out Isak and another player for Haaland? Should I take a hit? Or use Watkins as my captain or Salah? I would just captain Salah. I wouldn't take a hit to bring Haaland in, I don't think. Yeah, for anyone looking for like wildcard suggestions, I did a whole video on it if you want to check that out. There's plenty of time before the deadline. Adama Traore would not be in my wildcard team. Like, no chance. He's playing all right, but I just wouldn't go there. I would rather have like Semenyo or a shorter term punt on Minter or someone like that. Porro and White, is it bad? Alternative is Harwood Bellis. It's not bad then. That's your alternative. My team is terrible outside of Salah and Hannah. I would like to wildcard. You know what you can do? You can just wildcard. But I would start thinking about it soon because there's only an hour and a half until the deadline. Would I start Smith Rowe or Calvert-Lewin? I'd be tempted to start Smith Rowe if you've got an Aston Villa defender, but I think Calvert-Lewin's probably slightly better out of the two. Like in isolation. Thoughts on going Pau Torres and Konza for game weeks 4 to 9? I'd rather take someone different. I don't think I would double up on the Villa defence. Would you agree that Calvert-Lewin's a great punt? Yes, I've actually got him in my sleeper draft team. I've also got Pau Torres. It's not ideal, but yeah, I picked Calvert-Lewin up quite early in draft. On wildcard, and I love my Salah-only team, which has De Bruyne for City cover. The Haaland fear is real. What are your thoughts? I mean, De Bruyne is fine as long as he keeps playing. It'd be interesting to see if that happens with European matches now, or how his minutes get affected. But like De Bruyne doesn't cover Haaland. Like instead of De Bruyne, I'd rather have like Palmer or Saka personally. Don't forget Adama is 5 million. Oh, is he? Well, yeah, he is actually, isn't he? Yeah, you're right. I'm an idiot. I thought he was 5.5. Yeah, fair enough. I still wouldn't have him. I don't think. I'd probably rather have Rodgers. But fair point. Thanks for pointing that out. Burn or Porro? I'd probably just play Porro. And 2 of Smith Rowe, Rodgers and Wood. I would probably bench Chris Wood. How long will I keep Bruno? This might be the last week he's in the team. Because next week, if I want to get Saka, if I want to do Saka to Salah, I've got to fund it. And so it'll either be selling Isak or Fernandes. I could sell Isak instead of Fernandes. I'm not against that. I guess it depends who I want to bring in. Like I might go for a double up on João Pedro and Welbeck next week. Yeah, I think Palmer will start, by the way. I've got no concerns over him really. I think buying Haaland now is a good idea. I think if that was always your I think if that was always your plan, then you should still do it. I think he will play. But I don't have any info about whether he's going to start or not. It's just my feeling on it, really. Trent and Rico Lewis or Robertson and Porro? Ooh, I think that for this week, definitely Trent and Rico Lewis. Long term, probably Robertson and Porro. Again, Rico Lewis is one of those players that it's great. He's been in the team, right? And he's playing really well. It could absolutely continue. But the real test is now European matches are back, right? And the fact that, Man City have got Arsenal in a couple of weeks in game week 5. Could Kyle Walker possibly get minutes so that he's fit for game week 5? Could happen. It also might not. He might just play Rico Lewis in both games. So Robertson and Porro is probably the safer route. Gibbs White, Porro, or Martinez to play. Probably Gibbs White for me. Why don't I have Patreon? I used to have Patreon, but then I just switched to YouTube members. To be honest with you, though, Patreon was kind of handy because it's so much easier to message people and that you can't message YouTube members. Like the YouTube back end for memberships is not as good as Patreon. But I don't think I can go back now. I've already messed around with that too much. Gaz, thank you very much. Points hit or just let out Ahmad stay in the 11. Have you got no one on the bench you can play instead? Will Salah play the full 90 minutes? I guess with Europe, maybe not, but he probably will. He usually does. Is saving 1 million for Robertson viable instead of Trent? Yes, depending on what you're going to do with it. Rodri, Foden and Walker are all fit. Rico Lewis is soon going to be a benching risk. Well, yeah, Walker's been available all season. I know he didn't have much of a preseason, but still. Rodri and Foden don't massively affect Rico Lewis, I don't think, unless there's going to be a big overhaul in the system change. Like, Rodri can play and so can Rico Lewis, right? Why did I remove Thursday streams? I mean, me doing public Thursday streams was years ago. Because they just didn't, they're not that popular. And also, back when I did Thursday streams, I didn't do all the other videos that I do, so... bench one, Konza, Gabriel, or Robinson? Probably Gabriel for me. Is Leon Bailey 100% out? No. He hasn't been ruled out, but I don't think he'll start. Yeah, there's no leaks. You're probably not going to get any on Haaland, right? Again, if I didn't think he was starting, I wouldn't be captaining him. Is Rodgers better than Smith-Rowe? I mean, I hope so, but not necessarily. Am I the only person to still have Solanke and Kwanzaa? I don't think so. There's still people out there with Kwanzaa and Nketiah. Kwanzaa and Nkunku, sorry. Muniz to João Pedro for a short-term pump before game week 6. Yeah, I like it. Ben, play 2 in Burmo, Semenyo, Rodgers, and Ramsdale Raya. Okay, you got... Sorry, I was thinking then that... When I read Ramsdale... When I saw Ramsdale, I read Allison, weirdly. I would just play Raya, I think. And then I would probably play Semenyo and Rodgers. If I had Salah, would I captain him? I mean, it's hard to say, right? I think unless you've got that decision, you're not really... Like, it's easy for me to sit and say, yeah, I probably would, but I don't know if I would. I think I'd probably still go Haaland. I just don't see a situation where Haaland is benched and comes on. I think he either plays from the start or he's just not in the squad. In which case, if I had Salah, I would just vice-captain him, I think. Isak, Saka to Salah, Welbeck for free. I'd be pretty tempted to do that, yeah. Again, like I said on Final Thoughts, right? There's a world where Isak and Saka outscore Salah and Welbeck. It can happen, of course it can. But I'd rather have the Salah combination. I'm probably wildcarding in 6, but nothing locked in. My transfers next week will probably lock me into wildcard 6, which will be Saka to Salah and someone out to fund it. Isak, Adama, Gabriel, or Jackson Gordon-Lewis. I mean, I would really want Gabriel game week 6 onwards, so probably that one. In the short term, maybe the other one. Yeah, Thursday streams before I had a deadline stream. I think at one point it moved to Friday, and then... Yeah, then obviously deadline streams took off. The original deadline stream, although Scout used to do like Breakfast Club, it wasn't quite the same as a deadline stream. So I'm claiming deadline streams as the first ever and original one. I'm claiming them. Now everyone's got a deadline stream. Will Nedeljkovic start? I wouldn't bank on it. Bench Gordon or Meniz? Meniz, I think. Play Madueke or bring in Eze in place of him. I think Eze's better, but I'd be tempted just to play Madueke if I had him. Key game week 6 players, Arsenal. Just Arsenal players in general. So probably Saka, and then it's hard right now because Odegaard, we don't know if he's out and how long he's out for. I mean, he's probably going to be out. So like Havertz might become slightly worse. I think when I was originally looking at Game Week 6 wildcard, I was thinking like Raya, Havertz, Saka, but I'm not sure I'll go for Raya. I think I'll probably go 4.5. Trent, Robertson, Meniz, or Robbo, Harwood, Bellis, Jackson. The first one for sure. Everyone has a final thoughts video too. Yeah. Is João Felix ever going to be a starter in the coming weeks? I wouldn't necessarily bank on it, to be honest with you. Or will a transfer to Mbeumo this week be a nice switch? I'm not sure I'd buy Mbeumo this week, but definitely from Game Week 5 onwards, I'd rather have Mbeumo than João Felix. Barrington Diaz poor so far. Only Winks on bench as cover. Worth a hit for Rodgers. I wouldn't take a hit, no. I wouldn't take a hit. I would just play him. And if he does play and do well, then you've got Ipswich at home in Game Week 5. So I'd just keep hold of him. Who is Brighton's playing keeper? Verbruggen. Free hit Game Week 4. Oh, God, I've not thought about free hit at all. I'll just say that straight away. Martinez. Yeah, fine. Dunk, good. Trent, Vardio, Jota, Mitoma, Salah, Eze, Mitoma, Haaland, Welbeck, and Ketia. I like it, yeah. I'd be tempted to go João Pedro instead of Welbeck, but I understand why you've gone Welbeck. I'm trying to think of it. So you've got triple Liverpool, you got triple Brighton, you got one Villa, which is fine. Haaland, of course. Vardio. Yeah, I wonder if, like, it's a shame. Yeah, Rico Lewis maybe. Yeah. I was thinking, like, maybe Robertson and De Bruyne instead of Vardio and Jota, but there's probably not enough money to do that. Should you captain Palmer or Haaland? I would definitely captain Haaland over Palmer, personally. Hertzler said no more keeper rotation and played. Yeah, Verbruggen's definitely the number one. Yeah. I mean, managers can change their mind, of course, and Steele is an option, but I think Verbruggen's fine if you want to go for him. Andreas, thank you very much. Haaland told James that he started. Okay. By the way, that's just James in the chat. That's not like James from Planet FPL or someone. So that's just a joke. We have no info about Haaland. Zero info. Dun, 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 dun. I've lost the chat. There it is. Mitoma versus Minter is a big dilemma for me. Yeah, I'm a little bit torn on that. I think I'd probably go Mitoma. I think that's more, I don't know, like, I can't think of the right word. Like, we know Mitoma quite a lot, right? We've seen him play really well for a little while for Brighton. Whereas Minter is kind of new. The underlying numbers from previous leagues look great, and he could be brilliant. But I think Mitoma's almost like the I don't want to use the word safer because I don't think that's correct, but we've got more experience of him in the Premier League, right? So I think I'd probably go Mitoma, but obviously Minter is cheaper. Mirav, let me know what transfers you're thinking of doing. Like I said earlier, I'm not going to read through like a whole team and come up with your transfer strategy. It's kind of pointless, right? I can't give any proper thought into what your long-term moves are. Like Lewis Hall, he's not going to play, right? You've got Kwanzaa. You probably need to make a defender transfer, I would say. And I'm not. You could bring in someone like Lewis, but I'm not sure I would take that risk with your squad. So maybe someone cheaper. And I realised I just looked through that and made a suggestion, but still. I went for Mitoma because I have the money. He's clear. I'm not sure he is clear, to be honest, but he's probably who I would buy. Premier League proven, yeah. I think Minter's going to be pretty good. I think if I was on Wildcard and I was taking the punt, I would go for the cheaper one. Is this the day Bruno gets a return? All I can tell you is this. I really wish the Man United game wasn't at half 12. The first game of the game week, it's just... I already know I'm going to be watching it, and it's just going to be an absolute killer. Because I know what's coming as soon as he blanks. Like, it's funny, because when one of my players blanks, I don't. If I'm not watching the game, it doesn't matter, because I'll just have so many comments and messages. And the way people message is so funny. It's like, they'll just say Bruno blanked today, and I'm like, oh, thanks. Yeah, I didn't realise that. Thanks for the heads up. Which is kind of nice that it's not like, oh, you're an idiot, I can't believe you kept Bruno. Like, it's just funny that they message me as if I don't know. So yeah, loads of it will come if Bruno does well. If Bruno does badly today. So, did you know that Saka hasn't scored today? No, didn't know. Welbeck or João Pedro? Would you bring? Oh, I'd go João Pedro long term. Would you bring Matoma in for Gordon? I'd probably just keep Gordon, to be honest. Minter's minutes will only get more dodgy by the game. Possibly. More so than Minter. More so than Matoma, probably. Not necessarily, though. There's part of me that thinks like Minter and João Pedro and Matoma are all just actually kind of nailed to start. But that could be wrong, right? We just don't have enough info to say for sure. Saka, Gabriel to Salah dunk -4. Salah captain game week 5. Wildcard 6. I'm not sure I would take the hit, but if you want to do it, go for it. Sorry to say I'll be locked in cheering on Southampton. I will be smiling every time Bruno is involved. I'm excited, horrified for you. Yeah, it is what it is. If he blanks, he blanks, you know. It's annoying, but like I said on the video, Richard, thanks by the way, earlier this week, there's no point in looking back. Like, people are obsessed with what's already happened. Like, I can't believe you've still got Bruno, but like, I've kept him for 3 weeks. Right, it's not the end of the world, and now he's got Southampton. Like, does it really make sense to sell him this week? I would say no. I would say managers that think that Bruno Fernandes is an absolute must-sell at all costs this week, long term, I'm not sure they would do as well as those that think he should stay. And again, if I had 2 free transfers, I may sell him. But I'm not sure I would. I think if I had 2 free transfers this week, I think I'd be selling Isak, because I would find it really difficult to sell anyone before they play Southampton. Playing Burma or Smith Rowe for me, I think. On wildcard, Dunk, Fast, Smith Rowe, Stuart Haaland, or Watkins, Isak, Rogers, Trent Konza. I mean, the second one sounds quite a lot better to me, I think. But you need a plan about how you're going to get Haaland in later. That's what I would say. How many points am I? I'm not sure, but above my head, it will scroll around and tell you in a minute. I don't know. It's like 200 and something. Southampton 1, Man United 1. It could happen. Like here's some incredible FPL insight for you. Right? Are you ready for this? This is going to be. I'm going to share this. I've never shared this before. But in FPL, players can blank. Players can blank. They won't necessarily score every week. I hate to break it to you. And so, Fernandes could blank today. It could happen. Bruno penalty. Yeah, do you know what? Last time he got a freaking penalty was against Everton last season. I think it was Everton. And then he gave the second one away. I couldn't believe it. And that was another time when I had Fernandes and everyone was giving me grief for it. And I thought, here we go, second penalty. And then Rashford took it. He did score, to be fair. Players can blank. Yeah. Hey, I feel some people just don't realise that. Rogers' penalty would be amazing. I don't see it, though. For some people, the difference between a good player and a bad player is one game. Yeah. Yeah. It's fine margins. It's fine margins in FPL. It's like Eze, right? People selling him before Chelsea. Like, he literally scored a perfectly viable goal that the ref just happened to disallow. If that goal goes in, less people sell him. Like, the margins for some people on whether to buy or sell a player are so small. And a lot of it just comes down to how many points they've already they've already done. Like, I wish Bruno Fernandes had put away one of his chances in that first game, or that Xerxes had got his knee out of the way in the second game, but it happens. Even more surprising, Haaland can blank. Haaland can blank, yes, it is true. Haaland may not score a hat-trick every game. It's possible. I hate to break this to people, but it can happen. Gabriel Porro to Robertson -4. No, I don't think so. Or Nkunku to Matoma. I'd much rather do Nkunku to Matoma. Areola start. Probably. Bench boost viable. Gibbs White. No, I wouldn't bench boost that. By the way, now I don't have any insight into Southampton, right? So I'm not saying this is definitely going to happen. But I know James on Planet FPL keeps talking about the fact that Southampton could possibly move to a back four at some point. And if that happens, Harwood-Bellis might come out. I don't know if that's going to happen, but it does make me a little bit more worried about him. I wouldn't bench boost it either way. You'll have a better bench later in the season, I reckon. Haaland has upgraded his programming. He can't blank anymore. Possibly. Possibly. It's 5 a.m. It's 9:48 a.m. where I am. What are your sleeper picks for this game week? I've actually got a... Actually, I don't know if I've done them for game week 4. I'll do them at the end of the stream. I also need to do a draw because 2 people got the same amount of picks for game weeks 2 and 3 combined. So I need to draw the winner. I'll do it at the end of the stream. And then I'll do like a give. We'll sort out the giveaway for the next few weeks as well. I've captained Rashford. Am I mad? You might be a little bit mad, yeah. But good luck. It is 100% accurate that the easiest time to get 3 hat-tricks in a row is when you're on your second. When you've already had your second, yeah. Konza over Luka Dean and Pau Torres thought process. I got him in game week 1, basically. Luka Dean, I would just think the Matson might come in at some point. And Pau Torres has maybe got a little bit more competition in Mings eventually. But like I said earlier, it's like a long way away. Like if you want to go for Pau Torres, fine. If Luka Dean keeps starting, he's better. But it depends how much you think that will happen. I'm a Southampton fan, and you're much better off going for Bednarek than Harwood-Bellis. There you go. But a lot of people have already got Harwood-Bellis, so I don't think anyone's buying Southampton defenders. Bench one, Rodgers, Madueke, João Pedro, or Isak. Probably Rodgers of those lot. If Saka drops tonight and Salah rises, I've got like $1 million in the bank, so I'm not worried, to be honest. How has living in Ireland... What an FPL question. How has living in Ireland changed since Brexit? Do you need a visa? No, you don't need a visa for Ireland to England. I'll tell you what's changed. UK... Brexit sucks because we used to be able to like order stuff from the UK like that was like maybe cheaper than just getting it from whatever other site, and then it would get delivered to a random address in the in Northern Ireland, and then they would just bring it down to you in Ireland. You can't do that anymore. It's quite cheap as well. So, and like some stuff, so if you couldn't get it delivered from a UK site to Ireland, you could just get it delivered to like a... They just gave you like a... What's it called? Like I don't know, like a not a fake address, but an address that you could use that wasn't yours. Can't do that now because of Brexit. So yeah, annoying. But you don't need a visa. Well, it's called the is it the common travel area or something, I think? Or is that like in Europe? It was like a PO box, yeah, kind of. Could you turn the stream volume up? Am I really quiet? No, it's not. It's not a PO box though. It's like something else. It's not fake. It's not a fake address. Not proxy. I can't think of the word. I can't think of the word that I want to use. That's probably wrong. Anyway, proxy address maybe. Yeah. Anyway. Let's get off Brexit conversations. They never end well. Do you ever watch any GAA? No, to be honest with you. Any thoughts on GAA versus hurling? Not really. I think hurling in particular looks brutal every time. Like I don't watch it. Like, I don't go out of my way to watch it. But if it's on, like I might watch a little bit, or I'll see clips or whatever. What would make you not wildcard? In game week 6, injuries to Arsenal players, I guess. Bench one, Rogers, Madueke. I did that one, didn't I? Should I do João Pedro to Meniz if I wildcard in 7? Meniz to João Pedro maybe, but not the other way around. Sheriff, 35 months, thank you. Any news on Nkunku? Should I start him ahead of Mbeumo? Yes, I still own him. There's no news. I don't expect him to start, to be honest with you. I mean, I guess it could happen, but I highly, highly doubt it. So I'd probably just play Mbeumo. Aubrey, you have no idea what you've done for me. You've helped me with my depression. By the way, you don't have to read this out. I just want to say thank you. Oh, good. That's such a terrible... Oh, good. That's such a terrible reaction. I hope you're doing well. And if the video's helped in a small way, happy days. They will be continuing for a long time as long as people keep watching them. I'm glad you're doing good. Remember to talk to someone if things aren't doing so well or going so well. I'm terrible with words, by the way, so just ignore me. Should I play in Burma, Gibbs White, or Porro? I'd probably play in Burma out of those, to be honest with you. People are getting too excited about Brighton. They played a 10-man Arsenal and Man United. Yeah, but they've also got Ipswich at home, you know. Pretty good fixture. Please help me. Is Colwill not a good pick? I actually think Colwill's all right. I think he's nailed for Chelsea. So yeah, I think he's fine. When does the Fantasy Football Hub 50% offer end? I'm actually not sure, to be honest. I might be able to find out. It's not on all season, though. It definitely gets removed at some point. Is Palmer playing? Presumably he will, yeah. Thoughts on triple City, Brighton, and Liverpool? Liverpool, fine. Brighton, maybe, yeah, maybe. City, who would the triple up be? You're probably buying 2 attackers, right? I'm not sure I'd want to do that right now. Do you keep tapping your leg? Yes, I do, sorry. It's just a bad habit. I don't know if it's a bad habit, it's just a habit. Is it that bad to be tapping my leg? Probably not. The irony when you said I'm terrible with words. Is that ironic? Because I'm streaming. Would you start Rodgers or Nketiah? If I had Nketiah, I'd be very tempted to start him. Like, I don't think it's a guarantee that he starts, but Glasner basically said, why would we spend all this money not to play him? Scythe, thank you. Salah and João Pedro in for Isak and Saka. Yes, no, yes. If I were you, I'd be worried about your team this week. Yeah, I'm not that worried, to be honest. But the lucky thing is about doing FPL content is there'll be tons of other people that worry for me. So I don't need to worry because other people will worry about it. And then they'll tell me when it goes badly wrong. So I don't need to. I'm just going to stream till 11. And then I'm going to get some breakfast. I'm going to play some games. Then I'm going to watch the Man United game. And then my players might blank. I like my team. I don't have Salah, though. Saka and Haaland are the premiums. Can't fit in Salah. Should I just free hit game? No. Don't free hit game week 5. Free hit is like super useful later on in the season. I really just wouldn't recommend it. You know, like most content creators will, and myself included, will try and stay away from saying don't do that, right? They'll be like, here's the pros, here's the cons, you make the decision. But honestly, I would say free hit. So many people use free hit early in the season, they do regret it later on. I am listening to Phoenix. For Christ's sake, yeah. Like, I like it, but not for this long. So I'm going to change the playlist now. Am I mentally prepared for a Bruno blank against Southampton? Probably not. Because I think deep down, I'm really hoping for a return. I know he's a good option this week, so I think I'm not prepared for it. Not yet. I'll prepare myself for it after about 20 minutes when he's blank, and I think, here we go again. Man United are still terrible. Start Paro or Fass. It's quite close. I don't expect Leicester to get a clean sheet, so I'll say Paro. Smith Rowe or Amad Diallo. I'd probably start Smith Rowe because I prefer to start players I know are definitely going to start, and I'm just not convinced about Amad Diallo. What game am I playing? Honestly, I'm a geek and I'm playing World of Warcraft again. Don't hate me for it. Don't hate me for it. What do you think about Charlie Taylor, left back for 4 million? I just think there's probably, like, if I was buying a 4 million option this week, I'd be quite tempted by Mosquera. instead, because Wolves have got really good fixtures from game week. Also, by the way, Charlie Taylor's not playing. Sorry, I've just realised that. He's not even playing, so that's job done. Season of Discovery or Retail. Yeah, so I completely forgot he wasn't starting, so we'll just ignore that. I just checked his minutes. I keep thinking I'm going to stream, and then I just don't do it. It's like, I find it's so hard to start something new. I should just start streaming, honestly, because I'm not trying to, it doesn't have to become some big thing. I can just stream, like, I can just do it as a hobby. But I don't know, I always think, I'm going to stream today, and then I just don't. I just end up playing myself. Isak and Saka to Salah and João Pedro, or Wood and Saka to Palmer and João Pedro. Option 2 would involve. Nah, I think Isak and Saka are out. T, do you remember? Thank you very much. Not Space Marines 2, no. Not played that, not even bought it. PvP or PvE? PvE. I'm terrible at PvP. What if Bruno gets a penalty and misses? Well, then that's annoying, but like, what can I do about it, you know? Then I would look at it as I kept a good player on penalties for Southampton. He got a penalty. Like, what more can I do at that point? Do I fancy doing a Southampton versus Man United watch-along stream? Not at all. Not at all. How young am I? I'm not. I'm old. Why are there so many price falls but barely any rises? I honestly don't know. Wouldn't your ball knowledge make you quite a good gambler? I don't have ball knowledge, to be honest. Goalkeeper on Wildcard. I'd probably go for Flecken just because I really like the fixtures for Game Week 6 onwards. But I think Henderson and Verbruggen are okay as well if you want to go cheap. And Saka and Mitoma or Palmer and Minter for the next 3. I think because you said 3, I'd probably go Saka. If it was 2, I'd probably go Palmer and Minter. Minter or Semenyo for the next 3. Minter. Hatam, thank you. Why on earth is everyone overlooking Mitoma this game week? I don't think they are. I think they just don't have the money or the space or the transfers. I think if anyone was doing like the Saka to Salah move and they needed to fund it and they could afford Mitoma, I think they would. But I think a lot of people just don't have the money, so they're going to like Minter or João Pedro for Isak or whatever instead. Porro or Gabriel, I'd start Porro, I think. The dog is great. She had a good walk this morning. Does anyone else have a dog that is always super eager to go out, but then doesn't really like walking? Like she doesn't like walking near where we live. So I have to take her like to further away places, but that's not always doable every morning. She's like super eager to go out, and then she's like, "Yeah, but I'm just going around the block today." Captain Trent or Palmer in case there's doubts over Haaland. Like vice captain, I would go Palmer. How can I show you my team? You can't really. I mean, like you can DM it like on Twitter or whatever, but I don't check my DMs because it's just full of. It's either half like team questions or it's just half like spam. So I just don't really check it that much. And like I mean like, do you know what I mean? Like spam because it's Twitter, like dodgy links and stuff like that. Haaland starts according to the FPL newsletter. They always do have follow-up to it. We could have put this behind an email entry, but decided not to. Yeah, Haaland starts. Is Fabianski worth being the backup keeper on Wildcard or pick another 4? I'd probably go for Fabianski just because Areola always seems to pick up injuries. Doing Saka to Salah, would you do Gordon to Mitoma, Minter, or Isak to Welbeck? I'd probably do Gordon out instead of Isak. Do you think eventually it'll be essential to have Salah and Haaland? Not sure. How does a dog show you that it doesn't like walking around? Because she refuses to walk. Like she'll, like the golden retrievers. They're quite heavy, big dogs. If they don't want to walk, they can dig in. Isn't your timer / countdown wrong? Isn't the deadline in 1 hour? Well, it's in 57 minutes and 30 seconds, which is almost 1 hour, but not quite. Bench Smith Rowe, Burn, Konza, Vardio. So you ain't benching Vardio. It's Dan Burn, right? Definitely. Everyone else got a home game. Goalkeeper on Wildcard, currently on Flecken or Fabianski. Yeah, I don't mind that. I mean, Fabianski probably won't play though, so you've got Flecken against City and Spurs, which isn't ideal. Henderson and Verbruggen are the only other two I would look at that price, I think. Trent and Minter or 6 million defender and Mbeumo. I would want Mbeumo. If you go the Trent route, I'd want a plan to how you're going to get Mbeumo in game week 6. Visser, Wood or Nketiah on Wildcard. Nketiah is the nice short-term punt because he's got Leicester at home and I think he'll start, but this is the good long-term one. I probably wouldn't go Chris Wood, though he is also good. I have a 46-kilogram golden retriever too. No moving him when he's not in the mood. Yeah, I mean, ours is only like 30, 31 kilos, something like that. But she's still strong. Like, I could make her walk, but she doesn't want to walk. I'm not going to force her. Like, it would like dragging like a 30-kilogram dumbbell on the floor. It's not that fun. Did I miss something about Brighton's goalkeepers? Is Verbruggen now number 1? He's number 1, yeah. Change your news and info of harder news. Yeah. Can do. I think, yeah, I can do. I can't. It's so annoying. Hang on. I don't know if that's going to work now. It's not so easy to update. Yeah, I think, like I said earlier, I think Haaland was like always 99.999% starting. I think I get why people worry about it, but like this one didn't feel like one to worry about particularly. Who knows? Anything changed since your video yesterday? Don't think so. Konza or Robinson? Konza. Ahmad or Smith Rowe? If you wildcard this week, does it mean you have 2 free transfers for game week 5? Only if you've got 2 free transfers now. So basically, the week after you wildcard, you'll have as many free transfers as the week before you wildcard, right? Bench Robinson, Paro, Konza, or Smith Rowe. Bench Robinson, Paro, Konza, or Smith Rowe. Paro probably out of those. Paro in wildcard 4 if you had to play him versus Arsenal. Not ideal, that. But I still like him long term. Actually, here's a tip for you. Although you probably shouldn't do this, but like if you really wanted to build an account as like in the know, this is the kind of week to like leak stuff like Haaland starts because it's almost certain that he's going to start anyway. So you leak it, and then you're right, and then people will follow you. So for anyone that really wants to gain followers, this would be a good week to do it. It's like you could just tweet out now, Bruno Fernandes starts. Job done. You don't need to be in the know. Yeah, I've updated the thing. Another source says he does not. Who's saying that? Just remember, you'll get a lot of rubbish out this week. I'm not making any transfers. My plan is to roll. Triple captain Haaland? I probably wouldn't, no. I think if you're going to do it in a single game now, you probably wait for the Fulham or Southampton game. Salah, Mitoma, Anana, Smith Rowe in, Bruno, Saka, and Kunku out. Yeah, I don't mind that, especially if it's for free. Not great selling Fernandes before Southampton, but still. Big news coming in. Salah starts. Yeah, Salah starts. Sources tell me that Alisson's in goal. Other sources tell me that Haaland starts and Rodri and De Bruyne. Conflicted sources on Rico Lewis, though, because it's a bit more difficult to guarantee, right? Edison starts, yeah, sure he does. Your thoughts on Robertson or Van Dijk? I'd go Robertson, I think. Bit more attacking. Beckham not even on the bench. That is true. Any Man United team, you get Beckham. Wildcard this game week if I only play for mini league. I mean, I don't know what difference that would make, to be honest with you. Why do you feel like you need to wildcard because of your mini league? Do I think Haaland plays? Yes. Yeah. As I said yesterday, I think he's like 99.999999999% chance to start. He might not start, but I think he probably will. He probably will blank after all this. So I think Kwanzaa will start. I wouldn't put too much money on it. Have I ever owned Crouch in FPL? Yes, I definitely. I'm pretty sure I have. I think I bought him 1 week, and it was kind of a bit of a meme on the stream, and then he got an 8-pointer for me. I'm almost certain that happened. I don't know if the tweets will still be there. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure I did that though. I'm sure it was a Stoke player I bought in. Someone else can probably remember better than me. Ally or Horde? What do you mean? Both. These days it doesn't matter so much, right? So like Orc, Shaman, Gnome, Mage, I think Human Hunter, and like Tauren Paladin. Smith to Eze and Munoz to 4.5 defender. Who do you suggest? Probably Villa or Dunk. Like Konza or Dunk. Dunk for the next two, probably. Kadioglu might start midfield for Brighton. Yeah, I'm quite interested in him, but I'm not sure I'd be willing to go right now. Palmer and Jota to Salah and Minter for free or roll. If you've got Haaland, you can just captain him. I'd be tempted just to roll. Salah Oh, I did that one. Mohamed, thank you. Got 1.5 and 2 free chances. Who do I bring in for Hall / Mikalenko? So what, you got like 6 million to spend. Robertson, probably. If you need to sell the other one, Dunk. FPL Zin says I missed the super chat. Did I though? Did I? I might have done. Or did you miss me answering it? Probably not. Is Lewis essential on wildcard? No. Could get like a 4.5 like Cole and have Visser instead of Welbeck. That seems better long term. Yeah, sounds good. Like if Lewis continues to start, then you could probably call him close to essential, but depends how confident you are about that. Yes, we're back. Hello. You have it. Do I have that tweet about Shaqiri? Yeah, we're back now. We're back. Internet went down for a sec. Jesus, hopefully that doesn't keep happening. Sorry, I got lost there because now I've lost all the. Hang on. How did you find that tweet? Can you DM me that tweet? I can't see it. Okay, sorry. I'm a bit out of the loop now. I got 1.5. Oh, I did that one. Wildcard defense: Trent, Robinson, Konza, Lewis, 4 million. Midfielder: Eze, Salah, Palmer, Rogers, Minter. Attack: Palmer, Trent, Rogers to Gabriel and Burmo Saka. Boom, job done. That sounds like a pretty nice plan to me. Transfer Khadgar for Thrall. Go for it. Raya to Allison or Muniz to João Pedro. Muniz to João Pedro. Salah versus Haaland versus Salah captaincy. I would go Haaland. Start one of Porro, Harwood, Bellis or Leaf Davis. Porro. Own Salah, Saka, Isak to Haaland. Own Salah, Saka, Isak to Haaland, Minter. Not sure I would do that, to be honest, no. Because Haaland's got Arsenal next week. Madueke or Jackson? I prefer Jackson, I think. But obviously they play different positions, right? Who do you think is the best Brighton defender for the next 2 games? Probably Dunk, I would say. Kadioglu if he's going to start twice, but I'm not sure I'd risk it. Any news about Anderson or Vestergaard starting? Nope. Is Haaland sure to start? I think it was always quite likely that he would start anyway. Lazy FPL are saying that he starts as well. I mean, could he not start? Of course, right? It's possible, but I don't know what more info we can really get at this point. I think you've got what you're going to get, you know? Was it easy to wire up your office? Well, I got an electrician to put an Ethernet cable from downstairs to upstairs, but apart from that, I mean, yeah, because I just plug it. I just plug stuff into the plugs that are in the office, you know. Why do lazy FPL carry weight? They've just had they've had correct leaks before, basically. Is Sabio a good player to use? I wouldn't buy him. Like, will he start? He might do. I'm not sure I'd put much money on it, you know. Just Man City players in general can... Not in general, right? Because some Man City players just start all the time. Like Haaland, for example. But Savio, I'm not sure I'd take the risk. Am I thinking of dropping Ease out for someone else? Not this week. Maybe next week. I'm starting Porro over taking a hit for Armstrong to João Pedro, or should I take a hit? I'd be tempted to take the hit in that case. Armstrong. He'll probably score against Man United now. The thing is, Armstrong didn't he get hooked at like half time in the last game or something like that? Like his minutes could now be a concern. Yeah, he got hooked. You're gonna put Porro in 100%. No, I don't think I am, to be honest. I think I'm pretty... I wouldn't say I'm happy with Robinson, but... yeah, I'm gonna play Robinson because I don't have West Ham attacking and I do have Saka. So I'm gonna hope that Saka scores and wipes the Porro clean sheet. Could Porro outscore Robinson? He could, but it's easy to say, not necessarily easy to do. But I'm really trying to... I think I do actually do pretty well at this. I'm really trying to not stress over just such small decisions. Like, Porro could outscore Robinson. Like, what information am I going to get? But apart from, oh, by the way, they're benched, right? Which is probably not going to happen because they're both ultra nailed. Like, what info am I going to get between now and the Game Week 4 deadline to make a difference on Robinson versus Porro? I'm not. So I'm just going to play the guy I don't have any attackers against. And that's it. That's the basis for my decision. And it won't always be like that. Sometimes I will play the defender against the attacker, but that's what I'm using this week. And I'll just live with the consequences. If Porro goes and gets a 15-pointer and Robinson blanks, like, that's FPL. Again, I hate to break it to you, but players will blank in FPL sometimes. Set my team nearly 2 weeks ago, no changes. The only change I made since Sunday after Game Week 3 deadline was I put Rodgers in for Smith Rowe. And that's a close decision. It could be the other way around. Again, I'll just have to live with the consequences if it's wrong. Saka and Dunk or Isak and Robertson on Wildcard. That's quite a close one. I'd probably just have Saka in ready for Game Week 6 onwards. Captain Salah or Haaland. Who wins the North London derby? I mean, Spurs got to have a good chance if Rice and Odegaard are out. Probably end up being a high-scoring draw. Captain Salah or Haaland? Haaland for me. Sell Garnacho or hold him? I'd hold him. Son to Palmer. Kwanzaa to Konza / roll. Well, if you've got 3... I think you could probably roll, to be honest. I think Son's right next week. Sounds like you could probably roll. If you've got 3 of the good defenders... I can't get my head around players blanking, I know. Salah getting close to 50% ownership. Yeah, Salah's pretty good. Salah is pretty good. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, when is the Liverpool game? Is it tomorrow? Is it the 4:30 on Sunday? Or is it today? Please just be today. Okay, it's today. It's on TV. I'm not going to watch it. I'm not going to watch the Liverpool game. I've only got Trent. I don't want to see Salah smashing a hat-trick. But at least it'll be all over today. I don't have to go into tomorrow. Wolves and Newcastle was the 4:30 game on a Sunday. Interesting. Best 6 to 7 midfielder who's not Eze or Mbermo. Are there any? I mean, I'd be tempted just to go for a lower... I mean, this week, probably Matoma, and next week... Haaland starting the game following the pass. I don't doubt Haaland will play and smash it. Yeah, I think he'll play, yeah. I mean, I've said that the whole time. I really think it's one of those you probably just shouldn't be worrying about too much. I get it, right? He's 15 million. If you haven't got Salah and he doesn't play, it's a nightmare. But this isn't like an injury, or I think he's just fine. You said it yourself. Porro last match shot many times on goal. Yeah, but Arsenal defence is better than Newcastle. That's the only thing. Erdem, thank you. 8 p.m. kickoff on a Saturday. Oh, yeah, Bournemouth vs Chelsea. Jesus, there's 4 matches on TV today in Ireland. Man United, Liverpool, Aston Villa. So I can watch Fernandes. Not watching Liverpool. I can't do it. I'll find something else to do. Rodgers, and then Chelsea I'm not that interested in for FPL either. But it could be a good game, that. I think Bournemouth will do all right. What is most important to you regarding how others perceive you? Don't really think about it, to be honest. I don't think that's something I've ever given any thought to. People can think what they would like of me, and that's fine. Start Porro or Saliba? Porro. Start Mikalenko or Fas? Palace away or Villa? I'll probably start Mikalenko. Roger, currently Semenyo on the bench. Tough decision. Well, João Pedro, Haaland, Watkins, easy. I mean, that's not a tough decision when you look at the fixtures, I don't think. To be honest with you, Tom. I think that's all right. I mean, you could maybe start Semenyo ahead of Rodgers, but I'd probably bench. Semenyo. Have I ever had a burger at Smash Bird in Galway? No. Don't think so. Doo-doo. Delves, Raids, or Mythic Plus? Not Raids. I just don't want to... Raids just take up too much time. Like, I can't just jump in. Sometimes I like play during the day or whatever. So Mythics, Delves are okay, but I don't like doing stuff solo. And if I'm going to do it in groups, I'd rather do Mythic. Fabianski or David Raya for clean sheet? Neither. I'd probably just play Raya. Bring in Rodgers or Onana. Onana scoring nicely. How much is Onana, though? I can't remember. Did he start at 5.5 or 5? He's 5.1 as well. I still think Rodgers is probably slightly better, but Onana's got the points so far. Start Winks or Chris Wood? Chris Wood. Can't wait for Salah to massively outpoint Haaland. Yeah, could happen. Is Xerxes a punt for this game, or should I try with Nketiah at João Pedro? Yeah, I wouldn't go for Xerxes over any of those. Do I think João Pedro will start? Yes. Doing Saka to Salah, would you do Gordon to Mateo? I would rather keep Isak than Gordon if it's the choice between the two. Brentford are decent. Yeah, it won't be an easy game for Man City, but Haaland's just pretty good, right? 2 free transfers. Gordon, Menez to Diaz, João Pedro. Do both one or neither. I'll be a little bit tempted to do both. I think Menez to João Pedro looks pretty good, though. What are the odds that everyone blanks? Like, it's just an absolute nothing of a weekend. I think quite low given the fixtures. Like, for my team, for example, I've got players up against Leicester, Ipswich, Haaland's great, Southampton. So quite unlucky, but it can happen. Like, we've all had those terrible weeks where just no one gets points. Start 2 of Garnacho, Smith Rowe, and Rogers. Ooh, good question. I'd probably bench Smith Rowe. Yeah, if you're enjoying the stream, make sure to give it a like. Hit that subscribe button because why not? How many subscribers are we on now, by the way? Ooh. I've lost the chat. I always lose the chat. I need like another screen just to put that so I never goes missing. We're nearly on 427k. Keep hitting that like button. Is Jota to Diaz worth it? Or I wouldn't do Jota to Diaz personally. Like, is Diaz maybe better going forward? Yes, but it's not worth a transfer. This is just an appreciation post. Keep it up. Thank you. Keep watching. Appreciate it. I have 4.9 million. Who should I buy in defence? Robinson, Colwell, Van der Ven. Dunk. Or Konza. To be honest with you, I'm not sure. I wouldn't buy Van der Ven before he plays Arsenal. Robinson's okay, I guess. If it has to be one of those, I'd probably buy Robinson. But Colwell's also fine. Like, Jota could easily outscore Diaz this week. I mean, personally, I would love it if they were both benched. I want to see a front three of Gakpo, Darwin, and Chiesa. Look, Arne Slot, if you're watching this, which you probably are, you're a good manager. Liverpool are a good team. You can beat Nottingham Forest with Gakpo, Darwin, and Chiesa. That is the front three that I would personally start if I was Liverpool manager this week. Isak and Kwanzaa for Trent and João Pedro for free. Yes, I think so. I'd love it if Salah was better. It's not happening, by the way. Salah is, of course, starting, but that'd be so good. Be so good. Someone's saying Rico Lewis bench finds. Are you just hoping that will happen? Apparently, Ahmad starts. Would you play him over Smith Rowe? If you think that is definite, then yes, I would. Like, he's playing Southampton. Depends who the source is, right? Hatem, you keep saying Bruno captain. I'm guessing you mean Bruno. I wouldn't captain him, I don't think. He's a good option this week, but not for captain. Madueke or Rogers / Havertz. To start, like if you had to bench one of those, I'd probably bench Rogers. Someone in Galway has won 1 million on the Euro Millions. I hope it's me, but it probably isn't because I didn't buy a ticket. Bench Saka for Gordon, Smith Rowe, or play Saka for either. I would play Saka and Gordon. Will Palmer play? Probably. I also think Haaland will play. Me too. Any holiday deadline streams planned this season? What do you mean, sorry? Do I live in Ireland? Yes. Duran or Solanke, bench or start? Oh, I'd start Solanke over Duran, I think. I think Solanke will be in the 11 against Arsenal. I have none of the midfielders that you own, and I still have a perfectly good midfield. Yeah? I mean, easily, right? You could have Palmer, Salah, Mitoma, and someone else. And that would still be great. I mean, some people would say it's probably better. Oh, so Rob Dawson has just tweeted, expecting Ahmad to start for Man United against Southampton today. Deserves it. Not much competition, but he's been one of Man United's better players. Oh, okay. Unless he plays all three. Unless he plays Garnacho, Ahmad, and Rashford, but I don't think so. So if you're a Garnacho owner, that might be a bit of a problem. I'd be more tempted to bench Garnacho now. As in, you've done deadline streams on your holiday or at weddings previously. No plans, no. Menez to João Pedro for a free 2-week pump before wildcard. Sounds good, Joshua. 45 months. Thank you very much. Transfer out Robinson for Lewis or Menez for João Pedro. I'd do the Menez move, I think, if I was doing one of those. Like if you're having to do one of those transfers. Rashford bench. I doubt it. I mean, it doesn't say for sure that Ahmad is starting. He just says expecting Ahmad to start. Start Nedeljkovic or Porro? Porro, I think. Because Nedeljkovic could come on. Own Salah and Haaland. Is a -4 worth it for Trent? Probably not, no. I would just start Porro and roll the transfer. Trent and Dunk or Robertson and Porro? Trent and Dunk. Oh, well, for the next 2 weeks, Trent and Dunk. Long term, probably Robertson and Porro. My team seems very awkwardly average. Sanchez, fine. Porro, okay. Powell and Konza and Colwill. Salah, Jota, Son, Brereton, Diaz, Haaland. I think it looks all right. I mean, look, there's always going to be a few sacrifices to be made if you've got Haaland and Salah. I don't think there's a huge amount of problems in that team, to be honest with you. Trent, Foreman in defender, Rodgers or Robertson, Robinson, Semenyo. Probably the latter one. I think that's just stronger. Starting Burma or Solanke. Niall, thank you. Gabriel to Robertson for a hit. Nope. Nearly 800,000 transfers out for Isak is baffling considering he has Wolves. There's probably a lot of people on Wildcard. Start Menez or Rodgers. Probably Menez for me. Why not get Salah now? Because I'd have to take a hit. I just don't want to take a hit for it. I'm deleting my tweet because everyone's replying. He only says expected. I know he says expected. I can literally see that. Should I start Ahmad over Smith Rowe? I probably would. I still don't think it's a guarantee that he starts, but I think that's pretty. That would probably push me to play Amad Diallo if I had him against Southampton. Isak gets most points at home and his home fixtures are terrible. Yeah, but like people said that about Gordon, then his one return this season came away from home. Like Isak is capable of scoring outside of Newcastle. Like, he's done it a few times. Got some wildcard team. Flecken, Verbruggen, nice. That rotation's pretty good. Robertson, Van der Ven, okay. Dunk, Robinson, Powell. The defense feels very cheap. I'm not sure I would actually go. I think it's fine if you want all those other players. I think the defense is fine. I'd be tempted maybe to downgrade like a midfield. Like it depends how comfortable you are. Okay, let me just make this quick. If you want Salah and Haaland long term, the team's good. Captain Salah or Haaland. Start Rodgers or Matsuraoui. Rodgers. Valdis, thank you. Thinking of captaining Isak. Not sure I would go there. Palmer spotted partying last night. Hopefully he had a good time. Would you change in Burma and Vista to Semenyo and Isak on wildcard? Probably not. I think long-term Brentford players are good. Do I think Anderson starts for Fulham? Yes. I can't imagine they spent so much money. Like, I don't think transfer fees is always an indication about how quickly a player will start, but I can't imagine they brought him in to keep benching him. He's going to have to start at some point. He didn't start the last game, right? I need to double check that. I'm losing track of how many games there's been since he signed. I think there's only been one, right? And he wasn't available for that. Yeah, so I think he'll start the next game. The international break is playing tricks on my mind. On wildcard, no Haaland, Jackson, or go to Havertz to save Game Week 6. I'd probably go Havertz. Can't decide between Rico Lewis and Dunk on a wildcard. Well, Dunk is safer for starts, right? But Lewis is a bit more interesting. If I had 4 other good defenders, I'd be tempted by Rico Lewis, to be honest. Because if he keeps playing, like, he's such a bargain. Do I think Nketiah starts? I think he probably will, yeah. Lots of questions about Meniz. Yeah, but that's always going to be the case because he's blanked quite a lot, hasn't he? Like, when I say quite a lot, he hasn't got a return yet. I mean, Meniz is basically a cheaper Bruno Fernandes. At least you haven't spent so much money. At least you haven't spent 8.5 million, now 8.4. And Bruno Fernandes is probably going to drop in price tonight as well. Why start Robinson over Smith Rowe? Because you've got to start 3 defenders. If I could play Smith Rowe over Robinson, I definitely would. On wildcard, Salah Haaland, okay. Flecken Verbruggen, nice. 2 4 million defenders, okay. Trent Palmer and Calvert-Lewin, or 1 4 million Trent Robertson, Madaway. Yeah, I would go for the second one. I would cheapen down Palmer. 2 4 million defenders feels not great. Why would Lewis play knowing Pep hates small players against teams good at set pieces and he hasn't played Walker in ages and he played for England? Because he's played well. So he might just stay. But he also might not. And that's why people are asking questions. I mean, Haaland's quite tall. So is Rodri. The centre-backs are quite tall. Is Kyle Walker that tall, by the way? How tall is Kyle Walker? 1.83. How tall is Rico Lewis? Definitely shorter. 1.7. Ooh. Big difference. I mean, Kyle Walker might start. Like, I don't know what more I can say. He could start. Like, Rico Lewis is not without risk, but he has played really well. And the system's working nicely. But who knows with Pep? Like, this is why you can never... Well, some players you can, like Rodri and Haaland, but you can never say that this player is playing so well, it's his place to lose. No, that's not how Pep Guardiola works. If he wants to change it, he will just change the team. And he will just be out. Someone could play really well for 10 weeks and still just come out of the team in the 11th week just because of other players doing well in training. Could just be the opposition. Like, anyone that's putting Rico Lewis in that thinks he's ultra safe, I've got news for you. Would I put him on wildcard? I'd be quite tempted because he could be an absolute bargain. Why don't they show transfers as a percentage of the total transactions for that player? It's a much better indicator of sentiment. I don't know. City Extra predict Lewis to start. I think most people would predict Rico Lewis to start because he started 3 games in a row, right? Like, what is there to think that Kyle Walker would start? That would be more guesswork, right? I think the thing with predictions is, like, I've said this before, most of the time you can predict what a predictor is going to predict because they'll usually pick the most obvious, like we all would, right? Most of us would predict Rico Lewis to start because he started 3 games in a row. It doesn't mean he'll definitely start, but that's what we would all. That's what most of us would predict. There'll be some people that will go Kyle Walker, of course, but the high majority will be Rico Lewis, right? Just like if you were doing a Liverpool lineup, well, it's not quite the same, right? If you were predicting Liverpool, you'd probably predict the back 4 to be Robertson, Van Dijk, Konate, and Trent, because that's been the back 4 for the last 2 weeks, and obviously Kwanzaa got hooked to half time, so. Yeah, I don't know what more we can say about Rico Lewis. Like, he's not nailed, but he could start. Does Rodri start and shake things up? Possibly. I doubt massively. Like, I think... I will say this, though. If Rico Lewis doesn't start and Kyle Walker does, it probably is good for Vardio. But I would predict that most predictors will predict that Rico Lewis will start. That's all I can say. Lewis Hall versus Pedro Porro, who to bench? Probably Lewis Hall, just because he probably won't start. Ray or 4.5 keepers on wildcard 4. I think I would go 4.5 just because I'd want to spend that extra money elsewhere, and I would probably go Salah and Haaland. Pick 2 out of 3. Brereton Diaz, Smith Rowe, Rogers. I would probably bench Brereton Diaz. Will Haaland start? I think so, yes. Or should I change captain Salah? If you want to, but I think Haaland will start. Trent Minter and Greaves or Robertson, Semenyo and Luca Dean. Probably Robertson, Semenyo and like a Konza or Pau Torres. Who would your 2 goalkeepers be on wildcard? I haven't thought about it a great amount, but probably a 4.5 plus Fabianski. So probably Flecken, but Verbruggen and Henderson, both options as well. Any updates on Haaland, Watkins, McAllister? Well, Lazy FPL is saying Haaland starts. That's the only real news we've had. I expect Haaland and Watkins will start. McAllister, I'm not sure about. Bench in Burma or Smith Rowe in Burma. Is it worth a free transfer to do Menez to João Pedro? Probably. Solanke to João Pedro, then Martinelli to Jota or Diaz. Diaz. De Bruyne to Palmer / Bruno -4. Scout have De Bruyne benched. I'm not convinced about that. I mean, again, do you know what? He could be benched. They might rest him ahead of the Champions League. I don't know. I don't think he's got an issue, though, right? I don't think De Bruyne's got an issue. That would not be great for Haaland, I would say. But I wouldn't take a -4. Start Ahmad or Visser. Ahmad, I think, at this point. Who's saying that Garnacho starts? Who's saying that Garnacho starts? Qantas to dunk, then bench Porro. That's probably quite a good use of a transfer, yeah. Breaking news, not only do players blank, but every FPL manager makes bad choices from time to time. Yeah. I haven't seen anything concrete on Man United, to be honest with you. For the long term, would you go Robinson, Pau Torres, or Dunk? Dunk, I'd probably go Villa, I think. Start Rogers or Menez. Menez, I think. Is Saka a must-have on wildcard? No. Who to sell, Palmer or Saka to bring in Trent? Saka, I guess, because of the next 2. But again, think about game week 6. The Kwanzaa price drops are so frustrating. He's just been sitting on my bench and lost 0.3. Yeah, it's been brutal. Absolutely brutal. To be honest. Is it worth putting in Fleck on a wildcard and just stomach the 2 bad fixtures? If you think he's the best long-term option, then yes. Spurs away is he's not getting a clean sheet, but who knows? Could get some saves. Niall, maybe I did. Let me see. Isak, Pedro, and Saka Salah for a 2-week punt for free. Yes, yeah. I think a lot of people do that move. I like it. There's still part of me that's like quite tempted to wildcard. I mean, I can't do it with 17 minutes ago. I've not given it enough thought, but I don't know. I feel like I'm definitely, if I don't wildcard this week, I'm definitely wildcarding in 6. I feel like I just need it out of the way so I can stop worrying about it. I always feel like my team's not quite there. Like, I could have a second Liverpool defender this week. Or I could have, I don't know, Salah, of course. Salah's the big one. I could take a punt on, like, a Rico Lewis. Or even just have, like, Trent Robertson and like, just Konza. So instead of this team, I could have Robertson, Salah. I'd have to drop Isak, I guess. Saka, I don't know. I've not given it enough thought. It's just so tempting to wildcard every week. Although it won't be that tempting in game week 5. So I'll just go in 6. I got to keep reminding myself I can get Salah for free next week. I can get Salah for free. Oh, it's going to be painful. This is going to be such a bad week. If I come away with a green arrow this week, I'm happy now. Whatever size of arrow that is, I'm happy. It's just that last minute now, close to the deadline, small bit of panic. And there's going to be lots of people who have played their wildcard this week and have to look at their great teams. I don't want to look at their great teams. What editing software do I use for my shorts? I don't edit them. But I suspect it's probably like Premiere Pro or whatever it's called. For my long form videos, I still use Sony Vegas. To be honest with you. Because that's just what I've always used. And I don't do a huge amount of editing. Hatam, like honestly, you're spamming at this point. Like Brono captain. I've already spoken about it once. Free hit due to annoying circumstance tips. I wouldn't free hit. Rogers, Minter, Eze, Palmer, Salah on game week 4 wildcard thoughts. Sounds good. Sounds good. Bruno might go. Honestly, I'm guessing it's Bruno, like I said earlier. And no, I would not captain Bruno. Nick is late. You are late. It's only less than 15 minutes. I'm just thinking, could I just quickly put a wildcard team together now? I'm a rookie at this. What would your reason be for using your wildcard in 6? Just to freshen up with your team. It's just because I want to get Salah in next week for free because I want to captain him. And so I'm going to sell Saka to do that, but then I'm going to want Saka back for game week 6. No, I'm not going to wildcard. I'm not going to wildcard. I haven't given it enough thought, really. Like, I have wildcarded this late before on the deadline stream. Like, I could probably do most of the team now. Like, I wouldn't have Isak. I wouldn't have Bruno. I wouldn't have Smith Rowe. I think on... Oh, I hate... So Robertson probably in. I'd probably take a punt on like Rico Lewis. Because he's a bargain if you keep starting. I wouldn't have Barco. Konza maybe. Henderson, possibly. I'd probably go Fabianski. Let me change that. Henderson I'm not sure about. I'd have to have Salah, of course. Salah in. 20 million to spend still. This is where I've just not given it enough thought. I'd probably have to go cheap. I'd probably go like Calvert-Lewin. Calvert-Lewin. Who am I missing in midfield? Oh, in Burmo, of course. I'd probably start with Burmo. You're going to flip between wildcarding and not wildcarding 3 times before 11 AM. Probably. So I reckon I hit 500k subscribers this season. No chance. I don't know which goalkeeper. Maybe Flecken. And then I've got 2.5 million to spend. So I can't do this. What did I have before? I can't. Oh, I had Stewart, didn't I, instead of Calvert-Lewin. So I'd maybe have to get rid of Saka. And get Saka in later for Salah. Then I've got 7 million. Okay, so then I can just put Trent back in. Something like that, and just do Salah to Trent in game week 6 and get 2 Arsenal players in. Or just don't have Calvert-Lewin. Ooh. And just put Stewart back in because I'm not going to ever want 3 Southampton players. Sorry, Southampton fans. And then put Saka back in. I got like 3.1 million, so I'd have to go for like a 4 million. No, I'd have to get rid of Porro, wouldn't I? I'd have to get rid of Porro and like keep. Oh, who would I have to put in? Let's just put Robinson back in for now. Yeah, something like that. Then I got 4.5 million defenders. I'm not sure about it. I can't wildcard. I can't wildcard. I can't. No. I can't wildcard. I kind of want to because I just want to get Salah in, but I haven't thought about it enough. I'm just gonna leave it. It's this week's gonna be pain. I can tell already. It's not too late in the day because I've given it some thought. Maybe not as much as I should. Start both Porro and Gabriel or Kwanzaa to Konate. I'd probably just start both. Which one? Mbermo or Bowen from 4 to 7? Maybe Bowen, but Mbermo from 6 onwards. Definitely. Salah or Haaland, captain Haaland. Taking out Isak and Saka to bring in Salah for free. Nice. Have João Pedro, so Isak to Welbeck, Visser, Wood or Mateta. Welbeck, I think. Nothing wrong. Bench one, Gabriel, Konza, Robinson, Gabriel. Thank you very much. 17 months. Salah captain or Watkins? Salah. Isak to João Pedro playing Miniz already or roll. Lewis or Konza? Well, Konza's safer, but Lewis is like a pretty nice punt, right? Oh, you've already got Pau Torres. I'd probably just go Rico Lewis then. Slacky hat-trick tomorrow. I doubt it. Rogers, Minter, Eze, Salah, Palmer, Salah on wild 4. Game week 4 wildcard. Nice. Nkunku to Eze, Gabriel to Lewis / Villa defender for -4. Nkunku to Eze, Gabriel to... Eze and Lewis defender will play Smith Rowe and Porro in the 11. Yeah, I quite like that. I quite like that hit. I don't think you need to take it. Still no leaks about Lewis. Only Haaland so far. Yeah, I'm just jealous of everyone that's got Salah this week, but I think I'm gonna roll. Lots of people put João Pedro Salah in for a hit this week. My plan is to roll, bring Salah and João Pedro in next week for free. Yeah, people have got more free transfers basically. Some people weren't stupid enough to start with Nkunku and Kwanzaa, or they've ridden out the price drops. Why wildcard in game week 6? International break after, so risk of injuries. Yeah, there's always a risk of injuries. Nick gifted 1 membership. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. If you had Salah, would you be captaining him over Harden? No, I don't think so. I've just got to hope something big happens before game week 6, so that wildcard looks much better then. My biggest worry is that like Trent and Robertson is something that I might keep on game week 6 wildcard, but then I'm going to bring them in after. I'm going to have both of them after they play their 2 home games. That just doesn't seem great. Best 4.5 million goalkeeper. I mean, Verbruggen for the next 2. I think Flecken probably after that. I mean, I still think Henderson might be okay-ish. It just shows that starting with Salah was a good call in the face of 2 Haaland hat-tricks on 240. Yeah. If you had money, would you fund the Saka to Salah move through Isak or Porro? Possibly Porro. Or I could just take a hit and get Salah and probably be fine. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I can wildcard. Hit for Salah is the play. Yeah, maybe. Then I might wildcard him out in game week 6. I don't know. I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can wildcard. I've wildcarded this late before on the deadline stream. It actually went really well. But I had thought about it all week. All week I was like in between wildcard or not. This week's not quite the same. Minis to Jackson and play Pau Torres. Or -4 for Minis and Pau. I would just play Pau Torres. Yeah, nothing wrong with him this week. Smith Rowe and Burmo. Who to bench in Burmo? Yeah, I do like the idea of carrying the transfer through the wildcard, but obviously I could just take that hit at any point, right? It's not a good reason to do it. I could just wildcard and then take a hit afterwards if I really needed to, you know? Is Jota benched? I doubt you're getting Liverpool news this early. That is quite tempting, though, that team. Because you can just bench Rico Lewis next week and just play... you can just play Porro, Trent, and Robertson. Which would be quite nice. I don't think I can do it, though. Play Harwood Bellis or Lewis Hope. Oh, Harwood Bellis, I guess. Need to reset my team just waiting on Wildcard 6. Yeah, same. But there's part of me that thinks it's just going to be too late. It's like last year. Like Wildcard 10 actually worked out fine. But it wasn't quite as good as Wildcard 8. And the plan was always 10. And then people went in 8. And I was quite close and I didn't do it. And it feels like that now. The plan was 6. People are going 4. And it could be quite nice for my teams going 4 as well. But I'm not going to do it. So hopefully Wildcard 6 will end up being good. I've got to keep telling myself it's just 1 week without Salah. 1 more week without Salah this week. Which could be painful. Because I can get him next week and I could keep him on wildcard if I wanted to, right? Maybe it'd be more fun going without Salah. Thoughts on De Bruyne? I wouldn't buy him. He's probably okay to keep. Hit the wild card, have some fun. I did, but it's not that much fun when you've not got all the time to think about it, right? I've got like 4 more minutes to consider it. It's very tempting though. It's very tempting. I'm gonna have to spend another weekend hoping for a Man City clean sheet wipeout. Come on in Burmo. Come on in Burmo. No, I'm not gonna wildcard. It's slightly tempting though. I'm not gonna take a hit. I'm definitely not taking the hit. Actually, the wild card I've just come up with, I've got exactly 0 in the bank. I've got exactly 0 in the bank. I could just bench in Burmo this week and play Salah, Rodgers, Eze, Minter. No, I can't do it. Can't do it. No. It would let me have Salah and Robertson for Forest at home. God, now I'm going to be hoping for a Forest 1-0 win. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think my team is that good. Like, it's fine. It's not that good. You don't love peace, my friend. Just get Salah. It's not happening, I don't think. Bench Gabriel, Smith Rowe, Gabriel. You'll be priced out, do it now. But I probably won't want this team in game week 6. So I won't be priced out, I don't think. Making decisions last minute has cost you before. It's also really done well. What have we learned? Andy isn't going to be bullied into wildcard. His golden retriever hates being walked locally, and Rico Lewis is shorter than you think. No, actually, I think people know Rico Lewis is quite short, to be fair. Konza, Kanate or Matsurawi is a long-term pick. Then play that player or Saliba. Konza. And yes. Normally Mr. Salah on FPL. I didn't have Salah for like 10 game weeks last season. Everyone seems to forget last season. Yeah, this is going to be a bad week for me. It's going to be a bad week unless Fernandes does well straight away, and he probably won't. Like going against Liverpool is not great. I feel like I don't know if my chair is tilting or my house is falling over. 3 from Saliba, Dunk, Robinson, Porro. I would bench Saliba. Well, I wouldn't pay any more super chats in now. You've got less than a minute to go. I've literally got a wildcard team with 0 in the bank ready on my other screen. Although it does involve keeping Dean Henderson, which probably isn't the best idea. Although long term the fixtures are okay. I don't think I'm going to do it though. It is quite tempting, but I can't do it. Okay. I'm locked in, by the way. I'm locked in. Unfortunately, I'm locked in. I'm going with this. Yeah, we're done. We're done. Before you all rush off, make sure to give the stream a like, hit that subscribe button. Right, I'm wildcarding in 6. It's pretty much locked in now, I think. It was quite tempting to wildcard. If you do, you would be under 1 million after wildcard 4, possibly. Already thinking should have wildcarded. Yeah, the deadline's only been over 30 seconds. I'm already panicking about Game Week 4. Oh, this is going to be horrible. If multiple people in your mini league have Fantasy Football Hub, will everyone who doesn't win it get a refund if they have met the terms and conditions? Yes, as far as I know. But you've got to meet the terms and conditions, so make sure you check them out before you all sign up. Singing I Think We're Alone Now. Yeah, I am, sorry. It's come. I've got like an 80s playlist on. Although it's not... I don't know if this is actually in the playlist. I know it is in the playlist. I've got to sing something because my team's about to get absolutely annihilated this week. I'm panicking. Right, I need to... Hang on a second. I need to do a quick draw for my Sleeper Pick'em League. If you haven't joined my Sleeper Pick'em League, there is a link in the description below with prizes on offer. It's a completely free app to use. But for game weeks 2 and 3, by the way, I love the production value on this. It's so good. For game weeks 2 and 3, for the combined... oh, geez, I almost... anyway, yeah, it doesn't matter. These two people basically got the highest scores for game weeks 2 and 3 combined. So it's like Agapis Astori, I don't know how to pronounce that name, and then Gauss, I guess. So this is going to be the winner of the Premier League shirt for game weeks 2 and 3. Don't dox yourself. I almost put WhatsApp up. Yeah, I forgot that. Okay, so Gauss has won. There you go. Congratulations. I'm just going to quickly go back to the other screen a sec before I kind of mess something up a minute. Let me just go back here. I'll just put this and this on. That was rigged. It wasn't rigged. What are you on about? I need to do not disturb. I need to do my picks. Hang on. Let me just mirror my... Oh, this is all very intense. This is... Okay. Let me just bring up Sleeper here. I'm just gonna do my picks now because I completely forgot to do them. Where's the chat? There it is. So hopefully now, if I go on, yeah, okay. We are good. We are good. Okay, so this is the sleeper app. So for the Pick'em League, all you have to do is predict the results of each match every weekend. And I've got a Let's Talk FPL League, which is completely free to join. It's a free app, free games. You can set up leagues with your friends and stuff like that. Links in the description below. I was going to say decision below. So I'm going to say Man United win. Brighton win. I know I'm going obvious. Palace win. Fulham West Ham is... I'm going to go West Ham win. Away from home. There's got to be an away, right? Got to be an away win somewhere. City to win. Liverpool to win, unfortunately. Villa to win. I'm going to go Bournemouth Chelsea draw. And then I'm going to go Spurs win over Arsenal. And could Newcastle lose? Put some pressure on? Could that happen? Just realised, by the way, I've lost. I'm going to set. I'll pull the chat out here. I'm going to go for a draw for that, and that's it. So that's all you have to do. I'm going to do for this for game week. So for game week 4, 5, 6, and 7. For game weeks 4, 5, 6, and 7, I'm going to have a Premier League shirt of your choice for the winner each week. And then for the overall winner from game weeks 4 to 7, I don't know, we'll add in like AirPods or something. I think of the prizes, right? But it's basically going to be a prize on offer for every game week, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And there's going to be a prize for 4 to 7 combined. So if you haven't already downloaded Sleeper, like I said, it's completely free. Link in the description below. You can get your picks in. And then the only other thing for me, this is not for you necessarily, but I'm also in the Draft League. I'm playing FPL Family this week. This is my team. So Calvert-Lewin, Isak, Mateta, Paquetá, Maddison, Madueke, Van Heck, Livramento, Torres, Dallo. Back four. And that's my bench. So that's what I'm going to go with. So that's my draft team. You can set up your own draft. You can set up your own Pick'em League with your friends. Like I said, it's all free. Make sure to check that out. The chat keeps stopping. I don't know why. Maybe people are just not chatting. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me. Good luck in game week 4. May Bruno Fernandes finally get a massive score. That would be nice. Hit that like button. Hit subscribe. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And I will catch you again tomorrow when we talk about how I probably should have wildcarded. Thanks for watching. See you soon.